Death and Robots never fails to deliver with another awesome animation, and this one features an especially interesting creature. I don't know exactly what you would call this hell on how many legs it has, but this is one of the most interesting creature designs I have ever seen. Like, when I saw this episode, or at least people talking about it, I really didn't know what to expect, and I thought it was going to be something like from out of Alien. The creature does bear a lot of resemblance with the Xenomorph, and it looks very H.R. Geiger. With its beast-like fangs, its notably obvious phallus-shaped head and neck, this ding-dong on legs with hands coming out of its freaking mouth is enough to give anyone nightmares, especially kids who would watch this thinking it's going to be another Christmas special. You see, for me, the thing that makes a creature terrifying is not just the design of the creature. It's not just the fact that they thought this was going to be Santa, but it turned out to be something completely different, something from out of their nightmares. It's the implication of not knowing what would have happened if these kids had not been good. I did mention that this reminded me of the Alien franchise, and then guess what? We get a reenactment of Alien when the little girl is held up against a corner with this thing licking her. Serious, are they ever gonna let this die? Not to mention the thing also looks like a Xenomorph, with its jaws protruding from out of its face and its lack of eyes. Not to mention its sinister design and intentions if you're not a good little kitten. No, of course not, because it's just too good. They always gotta pay homage, and I don't blame them. Alien 3 was just one of those movies, you know? Anyway, the Christmas thing says, you guys were great. It smells them, and then it's like, you know what? I'm gonna cough up the gift, because you guys were freaking awesome. With slime falling off of it and everything. I wonder if you had said no thanks, what the monster would have said. And right after it handles the sister, the janky movement of flipping its head over to William, the poor little boy, I'm thinking that this kid is gonna die, and somehow he's bad. But the monster says he was good as well, so he gets a gift exactly what he wanted. Whew, the palpable horror of expecting this to be Santa Claus and seeing something totally different than what your expectations were just goes to show how so many of us romanticize real life when the truth is often stranger than fiction, which is, I know, ironic because Santa isn't real by those standards.
Stay good.
The monster also puts me in mind of the ritual monster Motor from The Ritual. It's a really good movie. You guys should definitely check it out if you haven't seen it already. It was a fantastic experience, and I absolutely love the monster design. This creature had a very haunting presence and a decent level of comprehension since it tells the kids to stay good. Although it does look as though it's disappointed when it smelled the second child and found out he was good too. Later in bed, the sister asks her brother what would have happened if they hadn't been good, which was more of a rhetorical ponder in horror. There would be a myriad of theories circulating in their heads that night, so let's briefly look at this creature and think up some theories. Of course, I understand that none of these speculations provide an actual answer for what the hell this repellent manifestation is, but it's still fun to imagine. Let's first look at its physical appearance. The hairless creature appears to be quadrupedal, with short, skinny hind legs and long forelegs that, if seen in the front, they look like the letter M. At the shoulder, the forelegs are positioned vertically, and they seem to be a length roughly of 3 feet. At the peak, another joint is present as the rest of the very long legs stabilize the creature and gives it a spider-like appearance. At the tip of the feet of the creature are long toes that don very sharp white claws, with the front being much longer than those of the back. Its body bears the shape of an African hyena. Its neck is vulture-like and stretches downwards towards the floor before angling up to face whatever is ahead. Its head and face are void of eyes and looks phallic in nature. The crest of its head resembles that of the head of a caterpillar, with the exception of very beast-like jaws protruding from out of the front of its face, consequently making its face appear to be stretched or strained under the pressure of its large jaws that seem to be too big for its head. It has a very long and serpentine-like tongue that is not only prehensile but serves as a trunk or straw to suck up whatever liquid it chooses to drink through the tip. Near the top, where the head and neck meet, where you would think a pair of ears would sit, are instead small human-sized arms and hands that are used to interact with things, as well as its face. These arms and hands seem to be a very chief form of expression for the creature. The monster has the ability to talk and possibly understand humans as well. It seems to understand the concept of good and bad by human terms, although we're not really sure on what morality it's basing its judgment. I mean, if a child is not supposed to fight with his peers because that would make him a bad child, would he be punished if he fought every day but he was fighting his peers to protect someone else? Is the morality based on the children's idea of morality? A child who's only known poverty may not see stealing to help feed his little siblings as bad or evil. What if the monster visited that kid? Would the kid be considered bad because it stole? After all, if the kid steals food from out of somebody else's mouth, the person they stole from could have been a struggling father who also needed that money for food to feed his own family. It's hard to say. And now we know what the creature looks like, but let's talk about the features in terms of abilities. If it's the one that has been going around giving children presents in one night all over the world, it's either ridiculously fast or has the ability to teleport. Why it chooses to go down chimneys of houses? Who knows? And what if the house doesn't have a chimney? Does this creature need there to be a chimney for it to get inside the house? I highly doubt it, since it's the same creature that has the ability to go around the entire globe and drop off presents for 2.2 billion children under 24 hours. It also has the ability to choke up an endless supply of presents based on what the children want, and it's what they want exactly. So it has the ability to read minds. It probably was judging the children being good based off of what they were saying telepathically. Now, why we see this creature instead of Santa? That's the next question. Well, remember how parents told you to not spy on Santa? It's possible their parents told them this, and it was passed down, this myth, for a very long time, at least in this universe. I know the reason why we were told it's because the parents are the ones who put the presents under the tree. But what if in this universe, the very reason the ancestors didn't want their kids to know what Santa looked like is because they knew he looked like this? Now every Christmas, the kids are going to want to do their best to not peep and stay in their beds. So here are some other possibilities after watching this Love, Death, Robots episode, which honestly is one of my favorite. Like what I said before, this is probably what Santa had always looked like. Another possibility is this thing is not Santa and it has taken over from him. Another possibility is this is an alien creature who knows about the myth of Santa and took it upon himself to play it out. Another possibility is this is actually Santa and Santa actually looks normal, but the kids are seeing this monster as some sort of illusion. Santa might not want the kids to look at him while he's leaving presents, so since he's magical, to discourage the kids from peeking, he allows nosy kids to see this manifestation instead of the real him so that they'll stay inside their beds, which is kind of evil when you think about it. Whatever the situation is with old Spider-Bat Penis Beast here, one question is on everyone's minds. What would have happened if those kids hadn't been good?
Stay good.